Welcome back. Nowhere during the year is this man more popular than right off the top of every year. Graham Hell joining us from BC Assessment this afternoon. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yes. BC Assessment, all the assessments have come out from you guys in the last week or so. People either discovering by way of online or they get it in the mail to see how their assessments have gone. How's it looking this year?
It's too cold to go to the mailbox, so
which is what I was
we just
say.
cheat and go on the BC Assessment website.
Yes.
The eValue tool has your assessment on it if you're interested. If you don't have it yet in the mail, you can always just go on there. I really cheat because I sign up for ePost and I can get it on
nice.
New Year's Eve.
Good.
So I could see what mine was. But it's a very modest increase across most of our jurisdiction. The city of Kamloops makes up the majority of our properties, and the most of those properties are residential. Mm-hmm. It's a modest increase, but it's an increase. We've had a couple of years of very flat markets, and so this year we're up in that, I'm going to say 0 to 10% range, but it's typically about 5 to 10% is where the vast majority of those residential properties, whether they're houses or condos or strata apartments, townhouses, everything is generally moving in the same direction to the same degree.
Sure.
Which is really what's interesting, because all of those folks share the same tax rate. So when you're looking at how they're going to divvy up the city's budget, you look to your assessment and you see, well, how did mine move in comparison to everyone else? Mm-hmm. And if you're right in there with everyone else, your taxes will probably be similar to last year.
Okay, so if we look around at different neighborhoods of town, did some neighborhoods go up a little bit more than others, like Brock compared to Sahali or Aberdeen versus Juniper?
Absolutely. I put that out, and I think it's been published a few times, but the variations are so small. Everyone is still in that 0 to 10% range.
Okay.
So very small variations. I think I looked at, maybe Juniper went up a little bit more than the North Shore or West Side, but not so dramatically that you would even notice.
Right.
It is a very, very narrow range of value change, of increase. Everybody, I don't want to say moving in lockstep, but almost, and that's not always the case. Sometimes we have markets where certain property types move significantly more, and you're seeing that sometimes in some of those markets that are hotter in the Lower Mainland.
Yes.
So those single-family properties moving up significantly more. We don't see that here.
Yes.
No, certainly not this year.
No, I think we're very lucky to be in a fairly stable economy here, where things sort of just go up at an average, a little bit amount every year. I know somebody whose parents live in Vancouver. I saw this on Facebook. Their property value assessment, their assessment went up by $800,000. That's not how much the house is worth now. That's how much more it was assessed at. $800,000 more than last year's assessment. So tell me this, would that not be a massive change in your property taxes? And how does one afford that?
Well, and that's the question is, it's a big number, but the numbers down there are significantly bigger. I mean, but by Kamloops standards, 800,000 is close to the top value for a house, but down there, it would depend on what the house was. And that's really the story, is what percentage did you go up, and what percentage did everybody else go up?
Right.
Because really that assessment roll that's made up of all of those properties, it's just a way of divvying up the city's budget, the taxing jurisdiction's budget. So really where you see a shifting of the taxes is where you're moving up or down relative to everyone else. Where you sit, and that's why we say this is what's typical for the city of Kamloops, 0 to 10%. If you're right in there, then
in the right
really
place.
what you need to do if you're concerned about taxes is wait and see what the city does when they set their tax rates in the spring.
I want to hold this up. We unfortunately didn't get this on screen, but if I have a steady enough hand, I might be able to show, sort of, it just goes to show with the bar graph here, that if you're in this area, you're pretty much in the right place, right? Everybody's pretty much swimming in the same area.
That is the 0 to 10% range,
right.
And that's a bit unusual. We saw that last year, and there it is again this year. And that really is those are all the houses in the city of Kamloops, all moving up in that 0 to 10% range with very little variation on either side.
And that's just the ones that are a little bit more, and these ones
They're just a
bit
little,
less?
yeah, just a little bit on the sides. But when you look at it in terms of the number of properties that are in that range,
Yeah.
it's the vast majority of properties in the city.
We're almost out of time, but I want to quickly mention that there is a route you can take if you feel as though you are in that little bit of a higher range, more than you're not in the 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
People can go to bcassessment.ca and appeal. Is that the right word?
Well, the first thing you want to do, go in there and validate the number. Does it look right? And if you're not sure, well, we've put all the sales in there in that eValue tool. You can find your own house and then find the houses in the neighborhood that's sold. There's enough information in there that you can see how big the houses are, the lots, how old they are. Do your own back of the napkin calculation. If you're not comfortable doing that, give us a call. We'll do it for you. And then you're right. If you're still concerned, there is an appeal process. We've got online appeal forms on the website as well, or you can just mail or fax them in, but they have to be received. We have to have them by January 31st.
Okay.
January 31st is the deadline, and then the Property Assessment Review Panel will sit from early February 1st to March 15th, and that's the process. It'll be interesting to see what numbers we end up with. It's been historically low the last couple of years, maybe 1.25% of the properties going forward to the review panel.
Okay,
so.
interesting. All right, always lovely to have you here, Graham. Happy New Year to you.
Happy to be here, and Happy New Year to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Again, the website on the screen, bcassessment.ca. If you think that your assessment is out of whack, you can certainly take a look at the appeal process online. Quick break. We'll be right back with more Midday. Stay with us.